What the hell is going on, Slamcastians? It is I, your fearless co-host, or your host with the most, joined by my co-host, Mr. Nick Horaceck. We're not even going to stop at the gimmicky entrance and all that. We're going to get right into the wrestling news because we have a huge, jam-packed show. We're coming right off the heels of a pretty awesome Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. That surprised a lot of us.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
It was a lot better than everybody thought it was going to be, because to talk about a pay-per-view outkicking its build, that was, I would dare say, probably one of the best WWE pay-per-views of the year. That's going to rank. That's right up there with WrestleMania for me, folks. And NXT TakeOver. Brooklyn. Yeah, put it right up there for me. So we'll talk about that more on later in the show, but we got a lot of... Yeah, man, you know how we do. We build up the show. We're not going to do a 20-minute authority promo to start the show. We're going to get right into the meat of the news, because we have a whole bunch of news. It's been a continuing news cycle over the short. We're giving you a short week this week because it is Halloween week, and we want to go out and get drunk on Halloween. We don't want to sit inside and record on a Friday night, so we're doing this on a...
And Friday's payday for me too, so...
Yeah, exactly. Friday's it's Halloween, bro. Like, who wants to stay inside on Halloween and record a podcast? So we're going to record it now, as is tradition.
But we did wait for the release of WWE 2K16.
You did. You have been playing it. You have been the lucky one.
Yes.
Mine is coming through GameFly. Your thoughts, sir?
Hell of a lot better than 2K15. I mean, my god. Just the career mode alone just makes it that much. I mean, it's a 123 character roster. The roster's...
and that's not saying that WWE 2K15 was a terrible game. WWE 2K15, while it did have its problems in the career mode, was a pretty solid game outside of that. It did have its shortcomings in other aspects, but, a pretty solid game. Let's not shit on it too much.
Yeah, I enjoyed 2K15 for what I played of it, but then I jump into this, and the submission system is overhauled, the pin system is different, the new counter system in that...
Oh, it doesn't seem like you could keep your computer, the opponent just can't spam counter everything you do?
Oh, fuck
Hallelujah.
No. Oh, fuck no. So, there are some moves that will have minor and major reversals. You get, like, a certain amount of counters you can do before you have to let the meter refill. So not only are you managing a stamina bar through the match, which was in last year's game, but you have the counter. So if you're out of counters, you're not going to counter that beauty shot from Tyler Breeze. You're not going to counter the pop-up powerbomb or anything like that.
You always want to save one for the end.
Right.
Yeah. Unless you're getting your ass kicked, and then you just need it to... That's really interesting, because I always thought that was one of the biggest detractions from me playing online against somebody, or playing even in higher difficulty modes, because it just seemed like no matter what I would do, or anytime I seemed to build any kind of momentum, the computer always countered everything I do. And
counter city bitch, yeah.
Yeah, it was so much harder for me to counter them, when it seemed like they countered me with just the greatest of ease. Like, they countered me running once. I would like to go run into it, and they did a counter. Like, how can you do that? I just ran into it. I didn't even press any buttons.
Didn't corral these guys either,
so...
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm trying to remember that I even have, because then I go for a count, like, oh shit, I'm out of counters.
But it seems like 2K Games has finally, gotten the hang of having to make a wrestling game, and it's finally coming on par quality-wise with the 2K NBA 2K series, which
Right.
For my money, is some of the best, one of the best sports
Right.
games on the market right now.
And I love seeing guys like Finn Balor and Kevin Owens and Enzo and Cass and Breeze in the game. Like, so you basically, again, it's like the My Career mode last year. You start off from, in training in NXT and you work your way up, but you have there was a ranking system. So as you're winning matches and getting more popular, you move up until you're into the number one contender, and you can actually get.
It should be an over meter, like, oh yeah, so how over you are, like heel or face, like that's, I don't know, we're getting into future game planning, but no, it's
Right.
good. I'm really excited. I
Right.
am absolutely looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean,
Playing.
you can actually get into feuds. You actually
That was
feud
good
with.
because it was a big problem of mine in career mode last year. It was
No
just,
Vicky Guerrero either.
yeah, no, Vicky Guerrero constantly telling me I'm not good enough to go anywhere. Creative has nothing for me.
Yes,
Uh,
that was 2K15. Creative has nothing for you.
yeah.
But you can actually pick and choose your rivalries. So once you get far enough along, and in sense the training, the tutorial mode is in a sense over, you can actually pick feuds who you want to feud with. You can pick which titles you want to go for as you progress. You can go for the Intercontinental title, and it doesn't stop from you just winning the WWE title and then all of a sudden you get to have your last match.
That was a big complaint of mine.
And that I wholly agree with, because it was like all of a sudden it's 6 or 7 years in. Oh, you just win the WWE title. Now you get to
And it
pick
was
your
over.
last match.
You have a 15-year career that's over within 6.
Yeah,
It's kind of like actual professional wrestling.
depending on the guy. Yeah,
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
but like there's a Hall of Fame screen, so there's different main goals and there's different sub goals that you hit a certain amount of sub goals or a couple of main goals, you can actually get in the Hall of Fame, and then you can actually choose when to retire. So like there's goals of hold any title for 365 days. You have win every WrestleMania match in your career, be a 10-time title holder, win the Royal Rumble 3 times, be a 5-time Intercontinental Champion, be a WWE alumni. So there's things like that. You can pick. You can pick what you want to have a tag partner who you align with. There's an entire screen where you have your allies and your rivals. So like right now, I've got like I'm a kind of an ally. Like yeah, it's like out of 5, like 1 out of 5, or stars or whatever, squares, rectangles, whatever. But like I am somewhat friendly, so I've got like 2 on Bo Dallas, 1 on Baron Corbin, and then like I'm feuding with Sami Zayn right now, so it's completely maxed out. So I'm in a feud with this guy,
I
and
like the
it's
fact that you could also, like, I saw people that my friend interrupted John Cena's entrance to attack him. Like, that's awesome. Like, you can't tell you how long I've been waiting to do that in wrestling games, to interrupt someone's entrance or like sneak
right,
attack from behind.
and that's another thing that got added. So like when you go in and you can actually when you start doing this, there's an entire matchup screen. It'll show what you highlight your match and then your rival's match. You can you can actually attack your opponent in the middle of the match. You can do it during their entrance. Like I got attacked by Sami Zayn as I'm making my fucking entrance. I actually have my character set up so it's the American Badass Undertaker entrance with Roland.
You come in. Wait, it actually has rolling. Like,
Yes. Okay, I'll take it. It's
you could feel me throwing shade at you.
pretty much. It's and then like I got attacked right when I got off the motorcycle, and you can pick if you want to like come down mid match. You've got options where you can throw a chair into the ring and then distract the ref to help your opponent get an unfair
Like I
advantage.
said, they're finally getting the hang or getting the feel of what it's like to actually be in a wrestling match. Things you could actually do as opposed to just being a fighting game with
And then you
wrestling
get
moves.
specific like things where, like I remember one of the big things last year where you had a feud with the Wide family where you could join them, or Like in this one, I know you can actually decide you want to suck up to the authority.
I'm again. That's what did I tell you when we were talking about this earlier? That is absolutely something I'm looking forward to doing.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
And then
man.
another thing that I, after some of your matches, you get interviewed by Renee Young, and depending on the responses you pick, you have different traits. So you have, prideful, perseverant, cowardly, desperate, egotistical, disciplined. I've got the screen up right now, so that's why I'm.
Racket discipline.
Yeah, so you get a pick, and depending on different responses, you get boosts in like respect or pride, or, things like that. So it's
They
completely.
have actually finally figured out a way to recreate the TV show and how it works and get that work into like an algorithm and
Right.
define that and quantify that into like statistics,
Right.
allegiances and how things like work. It really
Yeah.
actually seems like it's an interactive version of the
Right. It's
WWE
so
universe.
involved. I mean, when you're creating your character, you have even just down the you can have different fabric types for like your pants, your elbow pads. There's like metallic and satin and matte and
Pretty dope, man. It's pretty
yeah,
dope.
it's completely, the creation suite. You have a create a show title. You can edit current WWE titles and it counts as one of your slots, but you have the 2K showcase, which is all about Stone Cold, which, it starts off at the 96 King of the Ring and the time.
No Hollywood Blonde Stone Cold in the
Um,
2K showcase. Very disappointed
it's
in that.
in there. It's in there. But they're
So
like bonus
so it's
matches.
oh, I thought to say I thought it'd be like I would be I love to play like a flashback in a wrestling game like
Right. And
I'm
then you
telling
have.
I'm Stone Cold I'm telling my story and now I'm gonna
Yeah.
flash it back to me fighting Brian Pillman fighting tag team with Brian Pillman.
Yeah, we were just thrown together. I mean, I was supposed to be the U.S. champions. Like, it kept like, we're gonna put you and Brian as a tag team, and and then they got broken up later because they were getting over.
Super
Seems,
over. I used to
yeah,
again. I can't wait till I unlock that. It has that great camera,
yeah,
Hollywood wind up camera entrance.
yeah. So like one of the
2K16 though,
bonus
definitely
matches is Austin and Ricky Steamboat from Bash at the Beach. There's
awesome.
one with Savio Vega, WrestleMania 12.
Yo, that's
So they're both, and then you have different historical objectives you hit in the matches. So you
dope.
have.
It all sounds super duper dope, and
Yeah,
I
so
can't
it's
wait to
really
pick it up.
involved. I mean, one. Well, it's because I couldn't pay for his likeness, but like it's Mr. Dream as the special enforcer at WrestleMania 14. It's Mr. fucking Dream.
Oh really? Like they can't afford to put Tyson in the game, so
No.
he held
So
out.
we got Mr. Dream. So
Really?
yeah. Well,
No,
it's.
I'm not laughing. I'm not like discouraging him. I'm just
Oh no, it's. I understand. You know what?
uh,
Fine.
Mike
The
Tyson's.
roster is already fucking massive, all right? I mean,
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna nitpick, but
yeah, I mean, you got actually what I did notice with the Finn Balor is he's got two different attires. He has the demon attire and then he has his, regular non takeover attire. So if you pick the regular attire, he just comes out the normal, regular NXT show entrance. But you pick the demon one, it's the full blown demon entrance. So
awesome.
I like how they threw that in there.
I think everyone's you know what everyone's gonna go with.
Demon.
No one's gonna be using.
Well, the only time I've really seen it is when I faced them in, my career. But
Super, it sounds really dope, and I can't wait to play it.
yeah, it's just
But
everything about this game is just worked. It's
like I said, man, I think they're finally nailing what it's like to just be a professional wrestler,
right. I mean,
and
and
not.
just what I said about the my career mode alone, the fact that you
Yeah,
can go in and you can blindside John Cena as he's making his entrance and feud with him, and you know
it's gonna
you
be.
can pick which titles. It's just awesome. I mean, the
It's gonna,
one knock I do have on the game is there's gonna be no four horsewomen,
well, I mean,
which
foreshadowing. I mean, like I said, they definitely had this game well in development, and that character roster was probably locked down long before those girls broke out and became big time successes. Um, so, whatever.
Well, I
It
mean,
is
when
what
you
it is,
have,
man.
Blake and Murphy are in the game for DLC, Samoa Joe, so when
Yeah.
Sasha Banks was doing, was doing facial scanning months ago,
Yeah, that's
as in
true.
February.
And so maybe she will be in the game at some point.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Well,
But
like I said, the roster's already fucking massive.
yeah, let's move on from WWE 2K16
Yes.
because we have a whole bunch of other news that happened. The world's greatest tag team salesman, or world's greatest cut. Blah, blah, blah. The world's greatest T-shirt salesman, the brothers Jackson, Nick and Matt, had a very special announcement on their Facebook page. They've announced that they've signed an exclusive deal with Ring of Honor. But
Damn.
Yeah, I know that's a game changer to Ring of Honor. I mean, that's certainly a big deal for ROH for them to lock down the Bucks full time, because right now, as the Bucks are really only coming in there as part of like the New Japan exchange.
The Bullet Club, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a huge addition to the Ring of Honor roster.
So yeah, if you're thinking about getting some Young Bucks T-shirts, or you're like me that's now gonna scarf up on a few of them before that.
Before they got to take them off Pro Wrestling Tees, now is the time to do so, because if you're
Yes.
not aware, Ring of Honor has their own merchandising, and you have to go through them to buy T-shirts. So, yeah. But
So good for those guys.
it is a very good. I think it's going to be mutually beneficial to both parties, because that will definitely, you'll see an uptick in Ring of Honor's ratings now, because
people are going to want to watch the Super Kick party.
Exactly, people are going to tune in for the Super Kick party. The Young Bucks are a tag team that draws a lot of viewership in the professional wrestling circles, that niche fan base that Ring of Honor is clearly going after.
Right. Yeah, WWE, Ring of Honor, they don't try and go for the main, they don't try and go for the casual fan. They have their base.
Yeah,
and
Nick and Matt played this absolutely perfectly, because on Twitter they were hyping this up for a few days. Like, I mean, this was like the closest thing independent wrestling will ever have to a LeBron James's The Decision.
Right. And hell, hyping up an announcement a lot better than fucking Dixie Carter, so.
Or the WWE, for that matter. But
yeah.
Um.
But you know what? I'm gonna get a few Young Bucks T-shirts over the next. Cause when does they become? They have dates going through December.
December is their last official independent dates, and they are not booked anytime beyond that. And I think that's when the Ring of Honor exclusivity does kick into full effect. But there's some. It really can't even technically be called exclusivity, because the Bucks still maintain that they're still going to work their New Japan schedule.
But Ring of Honor is going to take priority, though.
Ring of Honor is going to take priority, and they are still going to work their PWG commitments whenever they're still going to be part of that. So
that's right.
I mean, hey, look, if anybody deserves a special treatment deal, it is the brothers Jackson. They certainly have proven to be a valuable commodity in independent wrestling. Just ask any promoter who's ever booked them on a show, and has counted the gate from them showing up.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of absurd amounts of money, there's been a few. Remember how I told you when this story first broke? This is only going to get stranger and stranger and stranger. Well, Hulk Hogan's changed. More weird and bizarre things keep coming out of the Hulk Hogan trade. Brother. Hulk Hogan's contract from 1998 was released as a part of the documents in his lawsuit.
Yeah. Oh my God. So this whole thing.
Break it down for us, Nick.
So basically, first of all, we know Hogan's all about the money. I mean,
well, he was talking about being taken care of. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I can see why Hogan had wanted his deal to be
Yeah.
above everybody else.
Because I guarantee, like, if you don't give me this deal, brother, I'm gonna walk out of here, Jack. You'll never see me again, dude.
I'll go back to Vince in a heartbeat, dude.
Yeah,
He'll take me back, brother.
Oh yeah, they wanted me to be a part of DX, brother. I'll go join DX. I'll tell everybody to suck it, motherfucker. God, I'm just going off the rails with it, but fuck it. So, I know I'm just trying to pull it up here, but I knew Hogan had a pretty lucrative contract with WCW.
The deal was pretty sweet because he had the creative control. You just didn't realize.
Just a creative control clause was already enough. I mean, you see why this company at one point didn't just start going downhill. At one point, he fell right off a fucking cliff.
Yeah, you could see why he was, happy to stay exactly right where he was. Right. He got $2.5 million just for signing the contract.
$2 million for signing. 25% of the ticket revenue made during any Nitro or Thunder event that he was on. Minimum cut being $25,000. 20 grand. Yeah.
That's just $25,000 just for showing up.
Right. $20,000 every month for being associated with the NWO. He was handed 15% of pay-per-view sales for all events that he took part in, $675,000 being the minimum that he would collect. He was set up to receive 50% of the profits that WCW made for selling any merchandise directly related to him.
That means those Hollywood Hulk Hogan shirts, those red and white those black and white feather boas, those whatever. I mean, I can't really remember a lot of the red and yellow shirts that they had, but
anything
with his face on it
was money.
That man's wife is never going to need to work again for the rest of her natural life.
Yep.
And his kids should be taken care of too, well beyond anything that they could ever possibly imagine. Bank. That man was making bank.
Oh God!
Brother Hulkster was making money.
Yeah. Oh my God! Wow.
Hand over fist. I can't even comprehend that. He was getting $20,000 a month just for being in the NWO. The NWO ran for seriously at least 18 months.
I mean, that's just insane.
The NWO ran from 1996 through 1998, roughly.
Right, the first.
99.
And then even then, it split off into the Wolfpack, and then
it was still. That's what I'm saying. It was still running for at least a good 2 years.
Well, yeah, there's NWO 2000 that had Double J in it. Jeff Jarrett.
Okay, yeah, I don't count that, but that original NWO gimmick ran for at least 2 years.
I mean, that was the biggest thing to hit wrestling, in that decade. So
yeah,
as far as WCW, I mean,
it was.
I'd be remiss to say that
second biggest thing that ever hit wrestling in that.
I was about to say I'd be remiss to put that over Austin 316, which was that same fucking year, just weeks before, man.
Yeah, it was a magical time.
Yeah, I mean, and then it'll never be captured again. By the way, we were talking before the podcast about Zack Ryder not being in the game. He's in it.
Oh, he is? Okay. Well, stay of execution for Zack Ryder is on for another year.
Yeah, we were pre-bantering, and we were talking about that Zack Ryder might be future endeavored here in those next round of cuts, but because he wasn't in the game, but he's in the game, so he's got to stay of execution.
So, I was wrong. Zack Ryder is going to keep his job.
So, yeah, that's
Zack Ryder.
Ryder or Riot, man.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, the Hogan thing. I don't want to say it can't get any weirder because it probably will.
Oh, it's going to get a lot weirder, trust me.
God.
Man. It's only going to get a lot weirder.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around all the money Hulk Hogan possibly could have been.
I mean, he was
how much of Ted Turner's money Hulk Hogan actually got.
And that was the big thing that was keeping a lot of this company going. Was
if Hulk Hogan was on the Braves,
oh God,
where would Hulk Hogan be hitting, or what would Hulk Hogan be doing? Hulk Hogan was probably making as much money or more money than, I'm trying to figure out who was a prominent Atlanta Braves, Greg Maddux.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At the time. Like, that's a lot of money. Bafflingly so.
Yep. It is baffling.
Truly, truly baffling. Truly, truly baffling. Somebody else got a pretty good deal too, but we're going to talk about that later. Not to kind of spoil things, but
it's
somebody else got a better idea, but you probably already know that. See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
You see what I did there?
What was the next thing you wanted to hit? I don't even remember.
I don't even remember either. Did I hit? I wanted to talk about the Young Bucks going to ROH.
We got the Young Bucks. We got Hogan.
Fuck, there was something. Oh yeah, there was a certain incident this weekend before the pay-per-view at where was it? Was it Knotfest? Was it some sort of
Corbin.
Music? Yes.
Corbin.
Oh,
Baron Corbin, man, he's
no. Well, see, this is going to get a lot interesting now because if you haven't read by now, Baron Corbin was allegedly involved in an altercation with Slipknot and Stone Sour, and I don't know how many other bands the guy's in. But Corey Taylor.
Yeah, he got socked. I mean, he hauled off. Corey Taylor hauled off and smacked.
Yeah, it looked like he actually punched him,
just clobbered him.
And it was released that it was for an ongoing storyline between the two that we will see more Corey Taylor in WWE programming for a couple of weeks, but he looks like he hauled off and actually hit him.
He just he just clobbered him. I like it. Like I heard, he fucking nailed him.
Corbin, did his part and sold it for him and made him look like it actually hit him. But I know that actually Corey Taylor being his size and Baron Corbin being his size, there's no way that had a noticeable effect on Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin was selling.
Awesome. Yeah, because I've been a Baron Corbin fan. He's really getting a lot better, and I mean, even just that first match he had on NXT against, the takeover with CJ Parker, when he hauled off and nailed that end of days, man.
Well, it's very clear that they have a vested interest in him succeeding.
Yeah. He's got the look, he's got presence,
he's got all the tools. It's whether or not people are going to adapt to him, and they're very clearly not going to make him a face.
Yeah, they wanted to, but people started to turn on him, and
he doesn't have anything that makes you want to cheer for this guy, other than the fact that he was just beating people up in 20 seconds, and that really only works for so long, because if you start having him beat up parts of your main roster for 20 seconds, those guys are now basically jobbers.
Right.
In order for him to grow as a character, yes, him being a heel worked. And, from what I understand from watching the fantastic WWE show on the WWE Network, cheap plug for $9.99, Breaking Ground, it's a little bit of his real personality in real life. He's kind of a dick.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah, so,
just fuck it. If you're a dick in real life, you just crank it up and you're a dick on TV.
I wouldn't, sorry, maybe the dick is kind of a harsh term, but his own person walks to beat his own drum and does not really give a shit about anybody else. A man much like myself.
Yeah.
So
it's like, you know what? Fuck it. You crank it up on TV. You just find that one thing that that's actually in you, and then it makes it that much more believable.
I would like to, I mean, I know a tag team seems like kind of beneath him to like that, because he kind of has been going by the Lone Wolf moniker ever since he's gotten into WWE. But a tag team with him and Bull Dempsey, that's money.
Yeah.
Bull and the Baron. Yeah, man. I think that's money in the bank right there, folks. But that's just me fantasy booking. But yeah, Baron Corbin and Corey Taylor from Slipknot getting in some sort of feud. Who knows who's going to be Corey Taylor's champion? Obviously, they're not letting Corey Taylor wrestle, and even if Corey Taylor did wrestle, there's no feasible way he could look like he could do any sort of significant damage to Baron Corbin. So we'll see where this goes. It's certainly going to be interesting. I was a big Slipknot fan growing up. I mean, we'll still pop on a few tunes now and then, but
dude, the Democratic debate was an actual debate.
I don't go out in my Slipknot jumper
was a bunch
anymore.
of idiots grandstanding. That's my problem.
Should be interesting, man. I had a Slipknot joke in there, but I lost it.
Oh shit!
He's gonna make him wait and bleed or something like that. I don't know where I was going for it.
Well, it's gonna be interesting where they decide to go with this.
It's just gonna be, publicity for Corey Taylor's band or whatever he's doing at the time, and it's gonna be an avenue for Baron Corbin to get more exposure. Like he's gonna be a guy working with this big outside personality. Like them getting Corey Taylor to come in and do a few NXT shows is a big deal for the WWE. He is a big name outside of wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just showcasing more that NXT isn't just developmental anymore. It's still that.
Nope, it's going to be its own thing.
It's its own thing. You know, Triple H knows what the fuck he's doing. You know, we don't have the constant shit that the 3 hours we have on Monday Night Raw every week.
Well, I've said before, that's probably one of the reasons why people like NXT more, because it's a more focused program and more driven program.
There's
because
continuity.
Because it's shorter. Yeah, because it's easier to book an hour of television than it is 3 hours of television.
It's like how Lucha Underground, everyone stayed fresh in that because we didn't see everybody every week. We didn't always see Prince Puma on the show every week. We didn't always see Mil Muertes on the show every week. And in this case, we don't see Bayley on the show every week. We don't see the Vaudevillains on the show every week.
Nope, because no overexposure. Format.
Right. I mean, doing the tapings does help and hurt it in some ways. I mean, when you have Finn Balor's debut spoiled a month ahead of time, but at least with James Storm, WWE kind of jumped on it before all the dirt sheets could.
Yeah.
And then on the commentary, how they said, James Storm's been working on the Indies for the last 15 years. I mean,
that's one way to put it. Yes, he has been working on the Indies for the last 15 years, and no place else.
Yes, not like you were for this TNA promotion.
We're not going to talk about that today. We're going to try to go an entire episode without talking about LOL TNA.
Yeah, because there's nothing new on that front.
Yeah, so far.
We pretty much hit all we need. So, yeah, we've got, they have the London TakeOver coming up in December, so that's going to be interesting.
WrestleMania tickets went on sale, too, this week. So if you're interested in buying your WrestleMania tickets, they go on sale, actually next week, the 6th, so we'll have another show before then. But it's that time of year, folks. Rapidly approaching. The shows is rapidly approaching.
Dallas, Texas, man. It's going to be... Well, there was a picture that just came up of Jerry Jones and Vince.
I wonder what that conversation must have been like.
So, Jerry, Roman Reigns could be a better quarterback than Tony Romo.
Roman Reigns could play defensive line. I don't know if Roman Reigns could throw, but...
I'm just taking a blatant shot at Tony Romo.
You have that blind Romo hatred for some reason. I don't know why. He's a good regular season quarterback. He's just not... He just hasn't had that opportunity to perform in the playoffs. And when he did, it totally shit the bed because he was a young, unseasoned quarterback. Anyway, that's enough football tangents.
Yeah. Jerry Jones didn't create the XFL.
That's what I was going to say. Where we had that caption thing on the form. And I was going to make an XFL joke, but I couldn't think of a good XFL joke other than the XFL being a joke itself. Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum-bum.
Yes.
So you want to go into the main event of the evening? We're going to talk about Hell in a Cell and where WWE is at now, because it was kind of this is set up to what's going to happen in Survivor Series as well. Like, this was kind of like... I like these cliffhanger endings to pay-per-views, like as opposed to resolution endings where it's just whoever was in the main event standing victorious, fade to black. I like these. Something happens to sets up a future storyline, and that's what we got from this. We'll talk about that later.
But we got a... Well, first of all, the pre-show match was excellent.
I did not watch the pre-show match, but I heard it was very good, and I absolutely
Cesaro became Oprah. It's like, you get an uppercut. You get an uppercut. Everybody gets an uppercut. It's like, if Vince doesn't see how over this guy is with the crowd, he was either blind, deaf, and dumb, or he's just completely not giving a shit.
He's racist against Swiss people. Because I said the same thing when I was watching Raw the other day, and he did that like spinning uppercut to Kevin Owens. This guy is by far one of the most athletically gifted people on the roster. I mean, I highly rate Seth Rollins' athleticism. He is as good or better athlete than Seth Rollins.
Cesaro is so damn good.
I don't know how this guy hasn't been in a WWE title match, hasn't main evented a pay per view, hasn't been given more than what he has been given so far.
Yeah, but so the pre-show match was good. But then we open up with the John Cena U.S. Open Challenge.
And as soon as this opened the show, I said to myself, well, someone's got to catch a flight.
Yes.
Wouldn't be surprised if Nikki Bella was next, too, but, it wasn't.
Yeah. So Cena comes out. We got the usual rendition of John Cena Sucks.
Again, wrestling fans, this is a very clever tune, but you've been booing John Cena for 10 years. And we've only just now, in the last year or two, come up with the John Cena Sucks song.
Well, he wasn't getting booed, so, I think the first time he really got booed was the match with Jericho at 05 SummerSlam. But, the first one I really remember...
That's 10 years, bro.
Yeah, it was ECW One Night Stand against Van Dam, which I understand, and it just kind of, went from there,
But they didn't have the John Cena Sucks chant then.
No. It's like they're now just figuring that out.
Like I said, wrestling fans are not the brightest group of people in the world.
Well, especially when, after WrestleMania, you're chanting it now, you suck Tyson, things like that, you've really just fucked off. Really make us all look bad when you've got idiots who, you suck Tyson. Really? So? Whatever, that's completely off track. But then, first surprise, Zeb Coulter came out.
Yeah, that was interesting because there was all sorts of rumors abound over the weekend.
Right, Zeb Coulter comes out. I'm like, all right, Zeb's back.
Who was gonna be the one that comes back? Was it gonna be Daniel Bryan? Was it gonna be?
And then it's like, oh god, it's probably gonna be Swagger, and we're gonna get Cena wins. LOL.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't Bryan. I was seeing, report, just speculation.
There was rumors of it that happened, but I don't think anybody actually thought it was actually going to happen until
Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn. I think Corey Graves said Baron Corbin on the pre-show. I heard Samoa Joe and just Finn Balor, all from one end of the gamut to the other. But then
Alberto Del Rio. I like the way Zeb said it too.
Yes.
Your next United States champion. I love Dutch. Alberto Del Rio.
And I'm just what?
Everybody.
What? And I just turned to Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? What?
Huh? What?
Yeah, complete shock that it's Del Rio. Of all people, it's Alberto Del Rio. And he won clean as a whistle.
Looked absolutely fantastic too. There was no fuckery or any sorts of
no, which I thought was gonna happen. I could expect it. It's Cena. There was gonna be a schmoz.
The crowd was they were in Los Angeles. Definitely there was probably a large contingent of Mexican fans in the building.
Yeah,
just because
it was a very pro Del Rio crowd. I mean, it was.
He picked the right time to debut and to make him look hot, and he looked great. He didn't really flub anything. He kind of had that tendency towards the end of his WWE run the last time to not be as crisp, but he was crisp, hungry. He looked in great shape. Fortunately, it looks like he had to sell all his expensive cars to pay for his addiction to self-tanner, but that's, neither here nor there.
Yeah, well, obviously, and then his deal is what
Yeah, that was even like it almost seems like they felt bad for firing him, so they compensate him by giving him a extremely cushy contract.
pretty
That
lucrative. He's limited dates. He still, I guess, gets to work, indie shows.
he gets to
He's
work CMLL.
Yep. So
He
he's got more exposure now. He was fantastic on Lucha Underground. I mean, the last thing he did
can't
is he
work
put
Lucha Underground though. Not allowed to work about Lucha Underground.
yeah. But yeah, we'll have to get to that because they did announce the taping dates. There's like 12 different dates, and
Yeah, well, we're already into our Hell in a
yeah.
Cell.
So, but I mean that's the only thing.
Talk
So
about it next week.
yeah, fuck it. But yeah, he gets to he put Alberto, he put Mundo through the window or the door window of Dario Cueto's office. And that was the last. And I thought, okay, where's this gonna go? But nope, he's back in WWE. He's the United States champion. Got to wrestle on Raw.
And they kind of have this weird stable thing now going with him and Zeb, and they're calling themselves the Mex Americans or.
That is not the most creative name in the world.
No,
I mean,
well, first of all, it's not the most creative idea in the world either. I mean, it's literally. I mean, now that Zeb is coming out on his Rascal scooter, it draws an awful lot of comparisons to the Mexicools. Like, I mean, literally,
yeah.
it's just Alberto Del Rio coming out on a lawnmower away from that same exact gimmick.
Well, I'm glad to see Zeb back. Del Rio's. Yeah, I guess you're right. 'Cause, they really felt bad in firing him in that whole thing. And it was funny because when it happened, it was just like, so really, I don't give a shit. And that's how I felt because, not having a job and worrying about your own financial security will do that to you.
Yeah,
But to see him back, I mean, first, it's one of the biggest shockers of the year.
it looks like a guy who was when he was out there. He looked like a guy who was revitalized to be back in the company. Like he had been on the outside for not saying too long, but he now knows that he's recharged. I guess he's
Right.
refocused on
Right. He.
finishing career. Because I mean, the guy's 38. How much longer does he really have to do this?
Right.
So I'm glad to see him. Let's see where this goes with him and Coulter. Certainly will be something that will be worth chronologizing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, moving on from that, we had a absolutely fantastically brutal, and it was everything this match I could hope it to be and more. Remember, I said at the start of this on our preview episode that this match was going to be a compromised vision of what these guys.
Hello. Sorry, I'm late. I fell asleep.
Oh my god, you kind of scared me there. Holy shit!
Sorry. I was trying to message you on the Facebook, but fuck it. So yeah.
You scared the shit out of me.
I do apologise, good sir. I just like to say when I say my internet runs on piss and donkey cow, it really does. The reason I missed the pay-per-view, which is why I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, was this week they actually officially turned my internet off, apart from on my phone because that runs on 3G. Would you like to know why? So you understand that I live in an antique village in 1972. Yep. They had to cut the tree branches down around the cables that run over the ground. Yeah. Welcome to England, bitches.
So yeah.
Please drive carefully through our village and don't forget to visit the gift shop.
Yeah. So we talked about Alberto Del Rio came back, and we were just about to get into Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, this is how we're gonna just run it down in order and then sum it up.
Has someone not got headphones? Because I can. It sounds like we're living in Bin Laden's cave.
I have headphones. I'm just a little loud.
So we're gonna get to the first Hell in a Cell match. Robin and Bray.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a wonderfully, spectacularly violent and beautiful masterpiece of violence.
I did actually see the highlights of this one in my Bin Laden's cave, by the way. Yeah. violent. Under descriptive term there, sir.
It was brutal, and like I said, I thought these two guys. I mean, if this was 10 years ago, these guys would have come damn near close to killing each other. But I thought we got a very compromised vision. I think Bray Wyatt looks like he's at home in a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
I'm quite surprised with all the injuries. I want to say the if you're listening to this, WWE stars, I do apologise to the quotation fingers elderly WWE stars. I'm not saying that about this match, and all the people that they've kind of hurt recently, and the bankable stars that possibly from the highlights I saw all right. You're worrying about these people that you hurt, and then this happened. Okay, all right. Apparently, you don't care about your wrestlers that much.
Right. Well, they definitely had to put a governor on these guys because I guarantee you they would have gone even more over the top with it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like there would have been someone. If anybody's gonna throw themselves off the top of the cage, it's gonna be Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
He just has that certain Mick Foley quality to him. I sense that.
He needs a T-shirt that says "Got Cage Will Travel."
I mean, I think Bray Wyatt found his signature match in Hell in a Cell. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just the title "Innovator of Violence" belongs to Tommy Dreamer. Well, I think you could give Bray Wyatt the moniker "the new Innovator of Violence." I mean, how often times do we see an ending where the guy jams?
That's the greatest descriptive term I've heard in my life.
The Innovator of Violence.
Yeah.
And it's Tommy Dreamer. He was the Innovator of Violence. But Bray Wyatt certainly deserves the moniker.
God created the earth, and on the second day, he created Tommy Dreamer.
The Innovator of Violence.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen a cage match or any kind of match end with a cane poke to the eye or kendo stick poke to the eye or something? Like, not even a poke to the eye, a kendo stick jab to the eye and punch. Like this, an absolutely brutal. Like it even seemed like Roman Reigns was going to either try, or Bray Wyatt was going to impale Roman Reigns on the kendo stick or die trying.
Yeah.
Wonderful, brutal carnage. Wonderful.
And I like how they did this early in the card, because then they got a chance to get the breather in before they went to Taker and Lesnar in the main event.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that
when we talk about
the end, because that will all.
I hope you're not referring to this match, Nick, as the piss break.
Oh no!
This was not a piss break.
This was everybody.
Ironically, I was taking the piss. Sorry.
No. This was the let's give everybody something really good to watch early on in the crowd,
right?
Because
we had the big shocker, we had the big title win for Del Rio, clean as a whistle, and then we had the brutality of this. So
this was savage, just savage.
Again, like Baron Corbin's burned to that guy on Twitter.
I have to say that really, really quickly now, and don't play backtrack because I'll watch this cast afterwards. But Del Rio?
Yep.
Yeah, no, that was all our collective reactions to Alberto Del Rio is back in the WWE and the United States champion.
And he went clean as a whistle.
And he didn't cheat or anything else like that.
No.
And he had Zeb Coulter.
It was like you said. Hang on a minute. It was. What are you saying? It was like a hospital bed. It was clean.
He kicked him in the head like he kicked Dolph Ziggler.
Yep.
Holy crap! That's a crossing the streams moment.
Yeah. It was a surreal moment to watch John Cena lose. Not only lose, but be like almost completely dominated.
Oh my God! There's my next T-shirt I'm making. Cena loses. LOL.
Yeah. Anyway,
Cena loses. LOL ? Because you're not sure how to feel with it. Cena loses ? LOL.
See. Oh my God! Oh, my brain's having a fart right now.
Well, Cena was
saying the words though out of your mouth. On the WWE is. Hang on. Cena loses.
It happened, man.
Yeah.
Believe me,
I'm very glad it happened, but I fucking know. I'm a little bit kind of like I said. I saw little bits, like highlights on the YouTube, and didn't see the pay-per-view event. But so I'm a bystander for this. But fucking hell, Cena loses.
Yeah.
Did I just wake up in alternative 1985?
To Alberto Del Rio. Cena loses
of all
to
people.
Alberto
Del Rio got his revenge for Cena taking the title from him 2 years ago, Hell in a Cell.
Oh my god, that's brilliant. That's absolutely fucking brilliant.
Right.
Stick a fork in me, I'm done.
He woke up in 2013.
Yeah. Anyway, so tag team titles.
Yeah, man.
New Day, it was a cheating win, but they, which
it was. I mean, this was a good match. There was one bit of kind of awkwardness to it. I don't know whose fault it was, but it was that kind of leg drop backbreaker kind of combo thing that the Dudley Boys were kind of doing. I don't know if Devon just couldn't lift, or Bubba Ray couldn't lift Kofi Kingston up that high, or Devon couldn't get his leg up to do the leg drop that high, but kind of made the match a little awkward, but they rebounded from there, and I loved Kofi Kingston healing it up, throwing the trombone, or handing the trombone to Bubba Ray, and then taking a bump as the referee comes around. Like, that's such a great heel tactic.
That is just Eddie Guerrero classic.
Exactly. Vintage Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that.
Having not seen all of this apart from a few highlights on YouTube. When you guys are talking about this, it's like, are you shitting me? This whole thing sounds like
it truly was like a fantastic pay-per-view.
It sounds like all the shit they put in the special features on the DVD when they release it at the end of the year for Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, and what I like is how they've very well protected the 3D as a finish. And that's always been, the Dudley's MO. They've always protected that move as well.
Very few people kick out of the 3D, like especially when they do a 3D through a table.
Right. A few people have done it. Chris Sabin did it. I remember. I think maybe someone. I think
not WWE, didn't count.
Right. Yeah, never happened in WWE. I believe it might have happened in ECW. I don't know, but that finish has been so well protected that it's because when they hit it, it's done. 1, 2, 3. So.
Absolutely.
And
man,
I mean, with
absolutely.
Jey Uso getting ready to come back from injury, so I think they might be getting ready to put the titles on those guys again.
Really? I mean, I would love an Uso New Day feud because it just seems like both kind of do the same thing. Where like the New Day are more heels, though. Like,
right.
I don't know. That's going to be a very good feud for the New Day. I think going forward, if Mr. Uso is ready to return expediently.
Yeah.
We did get a great Big E promo again. Again, the Big E promo streak continues.
I mean, my God, this guy is just always hanging it out of the park.
Yeah, I know. He is on CM Punk level promo game right now. Like, he has incredibly, just everything he says just pops me at this point in time.
Don't boo the president.
Don't boo the president. This is don't boo the president level. Like,
yeah. His facial, so.
He's running from everything from running down the Lakers, to. Kofi. I guess Kofi kind of set it up by saying he was going to play the bongos on Devon's head.
Right.
And then Big E counters, and I'm going to play the bass drum on Bubba's belly like a Caucasian Kamala.
Which is our episode title.
Which is why our episode is titled.
Oh my God, that's
Caucasian Kamala. Love it.
I say the Queen should knight him for that.
Oh my God! If we had some sort of way to give Big E royalty, I mean, he would have earned it with this months ago. I love that.
Charlotte versus Nikki. Nikki loses. LOL.
I want to say this. I think this match kind of, if any match was a letdown, I think it was this match. And not to say anything bad about both these ladies, I just felt that their last match was better, and the
right.
match that they had on Raw was better than that.
So are
Right.
you
It's kind of
saying
been
this was our actual piss break then?
yes,
Well,
this
it's
was
not
your
so
kind
much.
of.
We got the right result out of it.
You got the result
Charlotte.
you wanted. It could have been a lot better than what it actually was.
Right. I mean. So yeah. So now we go into the world title match.
Which
Seth Rollins pinning Kane. Like I said last week, they had the out. So if they still wanted to have Kane as the director of operations, Seth could have gotten himself disqualified because this didn't even end the show, so it wouldn't have mattered.
and we'll talk about that because they had this next match as follows. It brings me like a very interesting thing, but
Right.
the end of this match did make me think because it was like, all right, what are they going to do now? And well, we certainly found that out.
Yeah, on Raw. And we'll get to that.
We're going to get to that when we cover
Kevin Owens retained the title against Ryback.
It was a pretty good match. I was really surprised at this match because Kevin Owens is traditionally the heel, comes out and works heel all the time.
Yep.
But in this match, took most of the heat like a face. And
Yeah.
I tell you what, right? Because of my shit internet and obviously I don't like spoilers. You're just whetting my appetite for going.
Oh, dude,
going
like
to
I
watch
said,
this.
if I wouldn't blame you right now if you just got off this show right now and went to go watch Hell in a Cell because you talk about such a pay-per-view having a lackluster build and going
And
above
just
and
hitting
beyond
it out
that.
of the park.
This was it. This is one of the best WWE
Because this is a
shows of the
B
year.
show. This is a straight up B show. It's October, and then they have a steel cell. Roman and Bray felt like it needed to be there, and
Yeah,
so
but it
did the
sounds
main
like it's
event.
eclipsing half the fucking fodder they put out for the Ray shows right now.
Yeah.
It seemed like a better show, as good or better show than SummerSlam.
Oh
As
no,
good
I'm
or
not gonna
better.
lie. I think I might have a semi right now.
It was a very good show. It was a show that
Now,
rekindled.
it doesn't top, Takeover Brooklyn, but let's
No.
not go that crazy.
Takeover Brooklyn is still A level. WrestleMania was still A level. But this was pretty close to that. I think the differences were
Are
not
we
that.
saying like is it like when you're at high school and your teacher signs off your report card? He's saying B plus. He tried harder.
Yes, this is sort of like that. But yeah, I just thought it was very interesting that Kevin Owens is a heel, worked the match like a face, and ends up retaining
This
the
is,
title.
definitely kind of the breather. It was it was only like 5 minutes long.
But
It was a good match.
But because that this match went on after the after the World Heavyweight title,
right?
Let me believe the two things: that one, they probably weren't sure what they were going to get out of Kane. Not saying that Kane was a liability and they were worried.
Oh,
They
hell no.
just didn't know how well Seth's style would blend with Kane.
Right. So, and then, you had Owens, and then, Owens retained the title?
Owens and Ryback, though, it's the fact that this match went on after the world title. It seems to me that they're giving renewed focus on building up prestige of the Intercontinental title.
Right.
And it seems like Kevin Owens is going to be the man to establish that or reestablish.
In the same way they've done that with the U.S. title and Cena. Cena's been coming out. He's done the Open Challenge. He's been defending it. He's been making guys look really damn good.
Exactly.
He's still beating them.
Except
in a couple of cases, which made sense storyline-wise, by the way. But other than that, that title actually means something. They're starting to do that with the Intercontinental title. And I really began to wonder that, if Owens is still going to be the champion, especially going into the Royal Rumble, if they, because Sammy doesn't have anything left to do on NXT, they bring him up.
We'll see about that. That's,
right.
Again, months and months and months away.
Right, and because I'm really starting to think that's the case, but
I mean,
again,
that certainly is a very obvious choice to
and it's
make.
definitely a possibility. I mean, again, I won't believe it until
it actually
get
happens.
that actually happen. Yeah, it was like because all the speculation that Daniel Bryan was going to come back and they need a top face to hold that U.S. title while Cena's gone. I wasn't going to believe it till I heard that music and the crowd starts going nuts. But again, if you had told me last week that Alberto Del Rio is going to be the guy, I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
it's a shame you can't bet on it, because you could have, if you put that bet, you'd be a fucking millionaire right now.
Yeah.
I want to know what the actual odds were on Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah.
100 to 1, 200 to 1.
Yeah, so
500 to 1.
Yeah, we're harping on that, but it was such a big thing. It's still kind of that happened.
It's still kind of sunk in, because when they recapped the show, that was one of the big things that they talked about at the recap. But after Kevin Owens and the Ryback, we got
the final battle.
I mean, talk about the way they hyped this match up. I almost wanted to write down what Michael Cole wanted to say and then kind of paraphrase it into a podcast sense, because it was just the most epic description possible. Two valiant warriors step into just building it up like it's Foreman, Ali, Rumble in the Jungle.
And this, Brock Lesnar, he needed to feed the Jew. That's what he's been doing for years. Gotta love that. Thank you, Burhan, for sharing that in the Facebook group.
This match was everything it could have been.
God,
and more.
they were bloody. These guys both bladed. It was beautiful. They were fucking Lesnar. They tore up the fucking ring.
Yeah, and it was an old fashioned fight. This was.
Sure, fucking hell, lads! I'm not going to bed after this cast. I'm salivating. I have to fucking watch this.
There was a point where the Doctor got shoved, thrown out of the ring by Brock, because
that did reportedly
piss off Vince.
Land Vince McMahon in a bit of thing, because it not because of it shows Brock shoving off the Doctor's help, but because Brock could have hurt the Doctor. Because Brock is Brock and the Doctor is the Doctor.
And because he was ruining the flow of the match.
Oh my God! It's the reverse of that thing you get, when when you're ill, which is the doctor will see you now. Not in this case, bitches.
Yeah, no. Brock was gonna finish this match, and
we're gonna get the conclusion.
But at that time, though, you had to let the Doctor in, because Brock was absolutely leaking, and I couldn't tell when the actual blade happened. I don't know if he did it when the Undertaker was elbowing him, but it seemed like as soon as he hit the ring post there, it opened the cut up a lot worse than it actually was, and he was leaking pretty quick there. Whatever they did to patch him up obviously worked, but the second time when they had to come in here and he clearly just was shoving the Doctor away, that's when it got real. It got really real.
And this was everything you wanted out of this match. I mean, Brock Lesnar did win, and then we had the after. We had, Lesnar.
To set up the moment, because the moment was a pretty interesting moment, because
we had Lesnar left the ring. He was kind of stumbling and kind of falling down.
I think that was legit. I don't think that's Brock selling it. I think that's
legit.
These guys beat the crap out of each other. I'm
probably took a pound.
There's the big ovation. The chants were going. Everyone was clapping.
I mean, they had the entire Staples Center on their feet.
And I mean,
thank you, Taker.
And you just see Taker just soaking it in too.
Yeah, he not even took it in. He actually acknowledged it, and it's actually the first time the Undertaker I've actually seen him acknowledge the fans' support of him, and he the fans were chanting "Thank you, Taker," and he kind of just quick head nod, and that was it.
And it's completely subtle, because you don't see, because Taker never
shows any sort of emotion or anything like that.
It's just fucking. I really need to watch. He never breaks fucking character, and he actually acknowledged his fans.
Yeah,
he acknowledged that they were chanting for him, and he just kind of thank you, thanks.
Yeah, and then done.
Yeah, and
this was heat. I mean, the fucking all four of the Wyatts come out, and
if you could, JBL did this perfectly too, because JBL was playing his part perfectly as being an Undertaker sycophant. And I'm not saying that he doesn't actually believe this, but he called the Undertaker the second greatest performer of all time, the greatest performer he's ever seen in his lifetime, all this other stuff. And then as soon as Bray Wyatt comes down, it's, why are they doing this? Jerry the King Lawler's the same way. Why is this happening? And they surround the ring, and they just proceed to dismantle the Undertaker.
Yes, and then carry him out, and that's how they close the show.
Carry out his lifeless corpse, or as
no
all
pun
except
intended.
for Bray, of course. Yeah. I mean, absolutely, just fan-fucking-tastic. And now we were wondering where this was going to go on Raw, because we got a fantastic Raw to follow up, and a fantastic promo from Bray Wyatt. I mean, I've never seen a bad Bray Wyatt promo in my life, but an absolutely fantastic promo with a fantastic run-in interruption from Kane and another fantastic run-in beatdown from the rest of the Wyatt family, leading to them taking Kane out and dragging his lifeless body to a smoky part of the arena.
Valhalla.
It was, it was really, campy. They were like literally just dragging him down a utility closet corridor or something like that, and they just like smoked it out with their, fake smoke machines. Yeah, it really leaves me speechless as to where they could be possibly going with this. Are they building to a feud with the Brothers of Destruction and the Wyatts? Are they, taking Kane and Undertaker off TV and sacrificing to the Wyatts to make the Wyatts more powerful? I don't know what's going on with this. This is very, very interesting. Jeff Krupp thinks it's going to be a new Ministry of Darkness. I think Jeff Krupp is... No. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. It's just... I really want to know what's going to happen with this. It's weird. It's
a mind
really,
fuck.
It is, and that's what's helping build Bray Wyatt's character even more, is by giving you these kind of mind fucks. Like,
I mean, they're building up Survivor Series. It's the 25th anniversary of The Undertaker, so he's going to be on that show. He's going to be there. So,
Team Undertaker against Team Wyatt, Kane, Undertaker, John Cena, and I don't know.
That's shit I pay to watch.
I could see them throwing a couple of not mid-card, guys they want to push.
Dolph Ziggler.
Right. Maybe
Neville.
Ambrose,
maybe, or Roman Reigns, since he just came out of the big feud with him.
Roman, no, there's no reason to do that.
Especially now since someone's in the new number one contender for the WWE Championship.
Yep.
I'm gonna talk about that a little bit, maybe talk about that at the end of the show.
Yeah. So we pretty much got all the Undertaker. I mean, if I had to pick one guy, throw Ziggler in there, because, well, then again, he's the guy that gets the final, thing there. They're still gonna fuck him up like they did last year.
Well, anyway, yeah, that's for another time. But I mean, certainly, Bear is something that's kind of interesting, because Survivor Series being a team-based thing, maybe we'll see that. The Wyatt family fighting together, because we haven't really seen the Wyatt family fighting as a cohesive unit. Like, you see them in tag team action, you see them in the 6-man thing, but it's never all of them fighting together.
Right.
So should be interesting.
Yep.
Man, now that they're this stronger unit than they were before, they are a 5-man unit, or not a 4-man unit. So. We'll see. We will.
Yeah. So
see.
you watched Raw.
I did watch Raw, and it's they have a very interesting disposition now. I mean, I'm less worried about where they're going in the creative direction than I was a few weeks ago. You know, I did not understand this whole two sides of Kane thing. Now it looks like it's appeared to be building to something else with the Wyatts. I'm at least satiated as far as that's concerned. The one thing that I said that needed to happen, now is the time to build Roman Reigns. Giving him the number one contender, is that the right move? We'll see. Don't think now is the right time to put the title on him. I think obviously Seth Rollins is having a ball at that, and I say you let that continue until at least WrestleMania before you have that conversation. But now
yeah, definitely that would be spooging their pants too soon.
Yeah, exactly. That's pulling the trigger way too soon on giving Roman Reigns the title. You want to save that moment for WrestleMania.
That's the moment you want to do it. Yeah, you want to make that big moment, and hopefully the fans don't shit all over again that did last year because you pulled the trigger too fucking soon. Soured a lot of people on Roman.
Or angled to pull the trigger too soon.
And not just that, but also people like the build up, the trip to the event, if that makes sense.
Exactly. Like I said, I think that will make if Roman feuds with Seth for a little bit, they have this little feud, and then they break it off at Royal Rumble, and then Roman has to earn his way back to that, and that could be his redemption. Like have Roman actually win the WWE title, but then have to lose the match and have them submit the title back to Seth because of something happened with the Authority or something like that. Find out ways to make it work, and then have him almost win.
Well, it comes back to the little cliche, which is I know it happens a lot in WWE, and you would think that they would learn from the fans, which is people don't like cheap stars, if that makes sense, or cheap wins or cheap champions.
Especially when they see right through it and that you're trying to push this guy as the next Cena. I mean, you were so blatant with it. He entered the Rumble last year at the same number that Cena won it 2 years prior. So,
and then you get the worst one, which is the which is why they shouldn't do this. Which is you get the cheap win or cheap setup, which is basically this person's not even credible, but you're just setting up the next person to have the win that you want the fans to like. Right. But fans see through that shit. Yeah, fans see through that shit, which is I know you're an event organizer basically, but throw us a bone and give us some fucking credit.
Yeah, it's not. Don't make it so obvious all the time.
Right. Now, Roman did get a hell of a reaction when he got the win in that match. He countered the pop-up powerbomb with that Superman punch, which was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming along, so maybe now is the time, not the time to do it. Not the time to put the belt on him.
Really push him to be that guy.
You angle him to be the number one face, and have him set up as a natural rival to Seth Rollins. They already have the backstory, the origin's already there. So if they want to go that way for a while, that the creative writes itself. But just don't give us that moment yet. Obviously, save that for WrestleMania.
Right.
So that being said, I'm not worried about ratings. I'm not worried about where it is. The creative direction seems to be going fine. 25 years of the Undertaker at Survivor Series.
We're in a happy place right now.
It seems to be in a lot better place than a lot of people seem to think it is. Where the creative is stale. I mean, the creative isn't good for everybody right now. I mean,
they're dropping the balls with a lot of people. Sasha and Becky particularly, but
they're just because they're not listening to the fans of what they really want. But I think what they are delivering on is good.
Right.
So I am not. The canary is still alive, man. I'm not freaking out. I'm not running. I'm not
ready to get the fuck out of there.
I'm not panicking yet, man. I'm not worried about oh my god, this.
There's no fire in your pants.
Nah, man. It's all good. Like that. A show like Hell in a Cell is absolutely what I call one of those cup fillers. It fills up your cup of wrestling.
Dude, I just filled the cup.
Yeah, exactly. I filled the cup. I went on a total wrestling WWE Network binge and watched Table for Three and all those other sorts of interview shows. So
Right.
Cheap WWE Network plug.
Yep,
Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
Yep, let's get the song going here.
I want to know, are you the man or are you a fucking piece of shit? No good motherfucker. Fucking bullshit!
Oh, it never gets old. It makes you smile every time.
No, it doesn't. And man, do we have a good Iron Sheik tweet of the week for you before? Because it seemed like in a match that was booked in Twitter heaven, the Twitter creative, it was absolutely on fleek for this one.
I love this.
Yeah, this was, again, if you could not write, you could not book a better match.
No.
In
because as soon as I saw this, because I got Iron Sheik's Twitter account favorite, so I get notifications every time he tweets. I'm on my lunch. This tweet popped up, and I start laughing.
Oh, and you show it to me, and,
Winner.
Yeah, it automatically becomes...
I look like I gotta screenshot this, send it to Brandon, because
it automatically becomes... Yeah, no matter what, this automatically becomes the Iron Sheik tweet of the week, because... Do we want to give this a little preference? Because, again...
Right. So, you remember how I took a side swipe at Martin Shkreli last show?
You and several thousand other people, but, okay.
Yeah, so this is the guy that jacked up the toxoplasmosis drug from $13.50 a pill to $750.
Yeah.
And already Bernie Sanders has smacked him around. This guy donates $2,700 to his campaign, and then Bernie turns around, donates it to a hospital. And then he's just been getting owned left, right, and center. Another company has started selling a similar drug for $1 a pill.
Yeah.
So he's...
It's a guy has been trying to do make himself some more money and ends up getting...
does a Reddit AMA and creates shell accounts, asks himself questions.
It does not, again, we use the phrase dig up stupid a lot.
Yes.
This phrase. Martin Shkreli, dig up stupid. Dig up. So so Martin Shkreli, being the smart man that he is, decides to, well, first of all, let's preface this by giving out our Iron Sheik tweet of the week. It seemed just all too perfect that these two forces should collide, and the greatest living Iranian could not abide his silence any longer on this jabroni, and he goes, "Martin Shkreli, you done son of a bitch. Low-life skinny bastard, I break your fucking necks. You have balls smaller than aspirin. Go fuck yourself."
Yes.
Oh,
God.
That's almost poetry.
Yes, and
well, as a follow-up, the Martin Shkreli equals Tylenol dick.
This dumb shit responded to...
Yes, and he responded, and then of course Iron Sheik took him down. But that does not get any better than calling somebody Tylenol dick. I'm sorry.
That's the greatest insult. Oh god, I got to use that, even though no one in this country knows what Tylenol is. Tylenol dick is the greatest insult.
Whatever the equivalent you have of Tylenol in your country, Tylenol dick.
Tylenol dick is the
and that,
greatest
ladies and gentlemen,
insult in the world.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
I have a slight cheating
bullshit.
Yeah.
a slight cheating confession to make. I'm now watching the event.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it's gonna be great. You will not be.
My man part. I don't mean this. I mean this in a manly way, not a love thy neighbor way, but my man parts are tingling already.
The tingling is only gonna continue, my friend. I assure you. I assure you. But before we get on to that, we've pretty much talked about everything we are going to talk about on this show this week. So let's get on to the pluggity plugs. Mr. Lawn Boy's post.
You can find me. Sorry, I'm confused. I'm distracted. I'm watching fucking awesomeness in the background. Right, steady yourself, Dave. Steady yourself. You can find me on almost. Oh, where went Marty McFly, son? You can find me on Longboys Post 1975. You like your retro video games. You like debates, discussions, community fodder. Then go and check me out. You can find me on Facebook. You know what? Fuck it. You can find me wherever you want. I'm watching this shit right now.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Go watch Hell in a Cell. Yes. We will join you in a little bit on the other side. Mr. Executive Producer Man.
Yeah, I'm over on YouTube at the Gaming Pegasus 187. I am on Twitter at Gaming Pegasus 187. I'm on Xbox Live. I am on Wii U Pegasus 187. Twitch, Instagram Pegasus 187. I just did a brief pre-Hell in a Cell stream of Mega Man 2 in difficult mode because I'm a fucking masochist. So I'm gonna have to continue that at some point.
That is punishment right there.
Yeah. So I'm glad I figured out because I'm gonna try and stream some more of these side scrollers. I figured starting Mega Man 2 because I can at least beat it. So yeah, I watched
Twitch. I watched it and I was just like, wow, dude, you like a lot of pain, don't you?
Yeah, it's rough. But yeah, I'm enjoying a lot of WWE 2K16, and I'm pretty much ready to get back on playing that. But I need to play online, see how it is. But yeah.
And fingers crossed, right? If they credit check me in the next 2 days, then I will soon be joining you on that said project.
Good.
Yeah, but then we could do a live Slamcast through WWE 2K16 on my Twitch.
Yeah.
Yes, we could.
I'm tingling again. Sorry.
Yeah, buddy.
That'd be fun.
All right.
So yeah.
That would be awesome.
Brandon.
All right. So
take us out.
You like hearing my voice. You like listening to all this podcast about wrestling. You should go support independent wrestling in your nearest local gymnasium, or VFW hall, or Moose Lodge, Elks Lodge, whatever you have lodge in your area. Because I guarantee you, no matter where you live on this planet, if you live somewhere where there's civilization and, lights and buildings and stuff and people, there are people trying to live their dream of professional wrestling, because it's everywhere. Even in the most remote places in the world, there are people aspiring to get to the WWE, or even not to get to the WWE, just try and live their simple dream that they had when they were, a small kid of entertaining random groups of strangers by pretending to beat somebody up. So go support independent wrestling. It is the grassroots.
Can I just add something to that really quickly? It's not a tangent. It really is relevant. The British Amateur Wrestling League is touring the UK right now, and I don't know when they hit the Bristol Hippodrome. It might be next week or the week after, but they are touring through your community right now, and it's only 20 quid a ticket, so people go and check them out.
That's a fucking affordable as fuck, people. If you can't afford that, they're like, what's wrong with you? But again, you could see, the upcoming stars of tomorrow with maybe a little bit of the stars from yesterday sprinkled in between, depending on where you go. But like I said, It's the grassroots of the sport.
Well, it's like you said, people seem to forget this. With any big sport, people remember two words: ground roots.
Yep.
It starts somewhere. You don't just, very few people just walk into our Dolph Ziggler and walk into the WWE and just get a job. Not everybody gets that. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, it's not. You have guys. I remember the story. The Dudley's Torn Jericho's podcast where Spike, he moved his house, drove all the way across country just for a shot. So, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at what I'm watching right now. Never mind.
Oh. Cena loses, LOL. Anyway, we've independent wrestling, man. It's important.
Go support it, because without it, this podcast.
Where do you think your dreams come from, people?
Yeah, because I went to an indie wrestling show back in June. I enjoyed it. So.
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
Scott Steiner was there, so.
Of course you go to that. So
yes.
Yeah, go support independent wrestling in your local communities. It's where it starts. Shoutouts to my man JT Dunn, who's booked against AJ Styles this upcoming, very soon. I don't have it off the top of my head, but yeah, that's a thing that's happening. So that's good for my boy JT Dunn. So for JT Dunn, for our absent erstwhile executive producer Michael Borhan, for Mr. Lawn Boys Post 1975 Dave Wade, for Nick Horaceck, I'm Brandon Liggan saying go forth and spread beauty and light. Peace, love, and humptiness. Mr. Executive Producer, play my theme song and let the hell out of here.